In this model, I am going to explain on functions. What is function? In previous programming language, functions came into existence. You might be knowing that one. However, if you don't know, try to learn from here. Function. Why in this module you should know what is function, why we should use function. A function is a block of organized reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. What is the meaning of this statement? If suppose if you write any code for executing, there's plenty of code is there, it looks like clumsy manner. Now what you will do, use certain blocks or certain piece of code to call that particular thing in order to support a reusability. Because reusability will help here, because if you are having so many lines of code, it creates confusion. For this reason, functions concept there. So if you follow functions concept, it will be easy for that. And it also provide better modularity, because the program exists in different modules and all modules are linked together to support proper application. And also it gives high degree of code reusing. I already told before, reusability and modularity are the main essential things you should be aware of that in supporting functions. Here Python also gives many built-in functions like print, not like printf, scanf, but in Python is completely different. We should use print only instead of printf. You have to this is print is called nothing but built-in function. Suppose if you want to use any one function also, you can use. These are nothing but user defined function. Suppose if you want to use add function or def sub add, this is called user defined function. How you should define a function? You define a function. For this reason, rules are there. First rule is function blocks begin with the keyword def. Def is should be used here. It should be followed by function name and parentheses. So parentheses is very important, and any input parameters or arguments should be placed within this parentheses. Always you should use parentheses only. No, don't use square brackets or some other flower brackets. You have to use round brackets only. Likewise, you have to define parameters also. Every time parameters should not be defined. It's not a mandatory. Sometimes you don't have any parameter, sometimes you have parameter. That's a different aspect. But here the first statement of a function can be an optional statement, and here documentation string can be provided using doc string. And the code block within every function starts with a colon, not comma, semicolon. Here colon is very important. Whenever you are using any for loop or function, you have to use colon, and a space is very important. That is what I'm telling here. Here you should keep proper space. And the statement written expression, uh, you have to express. Whenever expression is there, you have to use square bracket. It exists a function, say optionally passing back an expression to the caller. So caller should understand the expression what you give. Based on the expression only, Python compiler will manipulate that one. A return statement with no argument is the same as return none. Every time when you are calling function, you have to use the return. That's very important, because the return is the main thing we should tell where the result is, we get. So syntax for function is you have to give like this. You have to use df common for all, and you have to give your function name. If you can give user defined function or built-in function, anything. If you are having any parameters, you have to give parameters and last colon, and it should be enclosed in double quotes, function underscore doc string, function underscore return expression. So square brackets is their expression. These are the things you should be aware of, that always a function should have this syntax only. Don't change the syntax, and every time you have to follow this syntax only. What I mentioned with the above rules, you should keep in mind and learn from that. And take any example. Again, open the Python command shell. For example, you are giving the user defined function. Now how you should have to write? Go to the file, new file, and here is there. Suppose you are writing a def space print, suppose print me str colon welcome to basic python, welcome to basic python, print str, and every time you should give a return and assume that it is fun. If you don't give extension also no problem. Python compiler will take default as .py and run this one, return outside the function. Why you are getting like this return? What you have to return? Unexpected indent. So that's why here, if you understand this one indentation, space is very important. Return outside function. Then what you have to do? Here only you are getting class string, right? And why you give like this return? You can give str, no? Return outside function. Here string will be printed, right? A string can be treated as welcome to basic Python, and class string will be treated based on the function concept. Now you have to call the function. If you have knowledge on C language in calling function, you might be knowing this. However, if you are first to this language, then no problem. You can learn from here. Calling a function is also very important aspect in this. Every time function should be called. So when they have to execute the proper piece of code, and here you are calling print me, right? You give like this. Now again, print me is there. Here you have to use like this. For example, extension. I'll explain this program now. Please observe in the Python shell. Suppose you are writing program like this. Hash is comment exclamation mark slash user bin python. These are nothing. This is nothing but header file. Like in C language, hash include stdio.h like this only. In Python, you have to give like this. This is comment, no problem. Just but however you have to understand like this. And function definition is here. Your function name is printv str, and you are printing like this only. This prints a pass string into this function print str. Again, you are giving parameters, like you can give any string as you like, right? Now run. Missing parentheses in call, right? Here why you are getting like this? Every time print should be followed parentheses. Sometimes so many are have it like print str. It won't support like this, right? And observe this one. I am first call to user defined function, again second call to the same function. Observe this program. But why this won't be executed? Because you are just passing the parameters to the print me. Default it will take like this. So I hope you understood now. Here you are calling function, right? If you observe this program, this one is calling to the function print me. Print me inside string is there. You can give any string. You can give your name a string. You can give welcome to basic Python, or welcome to the welcome to the advanced Python, whatever at Django, something you can like give any string as you like. This is called the calling function. You are calling here print me function, and next one is pass by reference and value. What is the difference between the reference and value? Reference means what? What is the difference between reference and value? Value means you have to give proper value inside the function. Reference means you have to give the variable. That is very important. Suppose if you consider this example and how it will work, let us look in this aspect. Here you are giving the def change name. This is user defined function, and you are giving my list as a parameter. Okay, here is parcel list into this function. My list dot append 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 will be added to the list, and values inside the function my list will be printed. And now you can call the change me function. How you can change my list is equal 10 20 30. In previous what you are having values 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, now you are having 10 comma 20 comma 30. So again you are printing list and value outside the function this one. So value inside the function this one inside. When value outside the function means what you have to do my list. That means what you understand in this scenario, change me my list dot append. You are just appending the 1 2 3 4 values. Here you are just changing another list, my list 10 20 30. So my list will be printed, right? So again, if you have any here also see parenthesis important, again you will get error. So this type of things should be avoided. Always you have to use parentheses only. So observe carefully what I am doing. First you introduce change me, and later you are using the reference with my list. Here my list is referencing both scenarios, like inside the function, outside the function. So my list will be printed, and 10 comma 20 30 values will be added to the list. So values outside the function will be added, and run this one. Values inside the function is 10 comma 20 comma 30, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So both ways you are getting the same. Why? Here you are just maintaining the reference of the past object and appending values. Which objects, which one you are referring mainly? My list values. You are referring in the both scenarios. However, you are just appending in the both aspects, appending values in the same object only. What is your object? My list. My list is the parameter that you use with object. So my list will be appended and my list will be added. So both will be introduced in this scenario. That's why you get both the things. Here, what you are going to do now? Here you are this changes the pass list. Okay. Here assigning a new reference in my list. Previously you are having append, just you are appending, you're just introducing 1 comma 2 comma 3 4 my list will be printed, and again you are changing the my list value outside the function this one. First it will be printed this one, and next this will be printed this one. If you want to try, you can try on your own. Unless you practice with one logic, you cannot. However, I want to explain with basic syntax, and I'm going to explain each and every line in program so that you'll get total awareness what is going on with functions concept. Initially you are having list 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 values, right? You are printing just my list. So what will be printed? 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 will be printed, and next you can call change me function. Here my list values is 10 comma 20 comma 30. Again change me my list. Here the parameter my list is the local to the function change me, but changing my list within the function does not affect the function. What it will do, first it will be printed this one, and next one it will be printed this one. You are just calling the change me function my list. Again, this will be called here. Every time my list is local only, whatever my list you are changing, it will be reflected in particular block only, not entire the thing. So this will be displaying the results. So I hope you got what I am saying. Just if you are having any query, you can ask me. This is how. Next one is function arguments. These type of arguments will be supported in functions. Totally, there are 4 arguments. First one is required arguments. Second one is keyword arguments. Third one is default arguments. And last one is variable length arguments. These 4 arguments we'll see one by one. What is required arguments? These are the arguments passed to a function in correct positional order. You have to determine the position, right? I'll explain it practically. Then what happens? Suppose you added def print me str. Okay. Here what you are getting print me takes exactly one argument only. What why it will get is getting like this. So you want to pass something, right? Print open parenthesis str return semicolon print me semi. Now you can call print me function print me this one. If you are giving like this, what you'll get, print me takes exactly one argument, but here given 0, that's why it won't support. This is called required arguments. Here required arguments should be supported in minimum 1, like previous one you took 1 argument. However, if you want to execute, you can try. Now try to run this one, you will get error. Now got it, no? Here missing one required positional argument. What is the meaning of this error? You have to give one necessary argument. How? You have to give print me welcome. Got, no? Minimum one argument should be supported. That's why it is called as required arguments. Keyword argument. What is keyword? Keyword argument means these are arguments related to function calls only. Again, you have to give necessary keyword arguments in a function call. If the caller identifies the arguments by the parameter name. What is the Python interpreter will see what are the keywords that is providing by the developer. If it matches the values with parameters, then it's work fine. Otherwise, it displays the error. Some arguments are not supported. Likewise, you will get here. If you consider this example again, I'll explain on this still. You can see carefully now. This every time this is common only, no problem. And here def print me is a defined function. Inside one parameter is plus str. You can give anything like this. Print again. Uh, Left right parenthesis return. Now you can call print me. Print me one thing is a string is called my string. What you will get output of this? This will be printed, or both will be printed, or only last one will be printed. Always it depends on the keyword. Here keyword is my string, so only my string will be printed, right? This is called what? Keyword. You are giving keyword as my string to the string, so print str will be printed. Print me, This is one of the arguments, keyword. This is called keyword argument. This is another example. This also, I am going to explain this example also. Observe carefully. Header file. Def print info. This is somewhat different. You are giving the user defined function print info. You want to display the name and age. Here your name is will be printed, age will be printed, written. Here you can call this one print info. Name is name comma age. You might having one more doubt. First it is showing here name and is showing age. You can change here, okay? No problem. Age comma name. Save this one. Name can, yeah, age can be given anything. Name can be given anything. So name will be printed and age will be printed. Why? Again, this is very important. Don't give much space here beside print. Just exactly necessary space is enough to execute. Name is, so age is this one. Now got it, no? So likewise you have to give. Now next argument is default arguments. Default argument can take default. It is will be provided by the Python compiler only. Certain value should be provided. If not provided, what will happen? Default value will be displayed. It will be taken care by the Python compiler. Take this example, default example. Here you are taking this one again, same thing. Age. Here you are giving this age certificate. Here giving age 50. Okay. Here, which one will be considered here? This is called the default arguments. Here, what is default argument? Print, print info is the user defined use. Here, you are giving name, comma age 35. Name and age will be printed. Notice the name here, Mickey, age 50. So this will be taken as the default argument. What are you remaining, it won't be considered. Understood, no? Run this one. Every time make a habit of using this one only. If you don't use round brackets, it will display error. Observe this one, name Mickey age 50. First it will be printed name Mickey 50. This is the default argument. And next what is having name Mickey and age 35 will be printed. First initially default argument will be taken first. Later next whatever you give, that one will be printed. Understood, no? Next one is variable length arguments. What is variable length argument? You have to determine the length of the argument you provide. If you are having more argument, then you have to specify defining the function. This is the syntax of the variable length argument. Function name, formal arguments or tuple. This is the function document string, function execute, return expression. Why you are using asterisk means you are placing before the variable name that holds the value. Always this tuple remains empty if no additional arguments are specified during the function call. Again, I'm going to explain this example, then you will understand the working of variable length arguments. If you don't, always Practically only you get knowledge. This is the user defined function print info arg1 comma asterisk where tuple. You are giving anything, output is will be printed. Again give here parenthesis print arg1 for where tuple. What is you are having where tuple? Where tuple will be stored in where tuple and print var written. Here where tuple will be seen more than one, not only one. That why you are giving asterisk. Understood this point? No, why you are giving asterisk? It won't consider with only one. It can be taken one or more. That's very important. That's why 10, 70, 60, 50 will be stored in var. And lastly, where can be printed. Output is 10, output is 70, 60, 50. This is one thing, and this is another thing. Here only one treated, and more than one here treated. That is used asterisk. That's why the asterisk is used arg1. Here one argument and where tuple. This is the more than one. Argument one is only one thing. Understood? No? Suppose if you are giving here 10, 20, what will happen? 10, 29. That's why I told asterisk won't restrict only to one. If you are giving one, one will be treated. If you are giving more than one also, it will be treated. That's the meaning of asterisk. Always you are using where tuple in where only. That's the main logic behind. It will be printed line by line now. Got this point now? Now understood now variable length argument. Next one, anonymous function. What is anonymous function? It is the meaning of unknown function. Anonymous. Take example of anonymous user while logging into the some interface like go to meeting. Anonymous user. Already you might be knowing this point. If you're having particular name you can use. If you don't want to mention your name, you can mention anonymous. Similarly, anonymous also unknown something. Here you can use lambda keyword to create small anonymous function. Lambda forms are very important in expression to manipulate the particular statement. It cannot be a direct call to the print because lambda requires an expression. Here you should use their own local namespace. It cannot access other than those. So that's why here you need to pass function stack allocation during invocation for performance reasons. Syntax for this is lambda argument 1 comma argument 2 and so on expression. We will see one example. If you work on this example, you will understand totally what's happening in anonymous function. That's very important to know. If you understand this example, what's happening in this example, don't consider this one. Sorry for the mistake. Some lambda space arg1 comma arg2, you are giving two arguments and you are adding two arguments. Yeah, what are the two arguments? You can give any numbers 20, 30, 10, 30, 10, 50. Addition will be performed and value of total will be printed and everything will be. This is the syntax for this. What you wrote, output will is 30, 40, right? 30, 40, right? Very easy. Please note this syntax carefully. This syntax is very important where you can apply anywhere. Here I use this syntax only. Sum is equal lambda arg1 comma arg2. Or you are having two. You can give more than two also, no problem. 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, depending on your requirement. That is the lambda. Anyway, the return statement, you might be knowing this in the previous thing. These are the example I mentioned. We're adding the sum of arc1, arc2, and finally, inside function, outside function 30 will be printed, and what you are returning total. Every time the result will be printed as return only. And what is the scope of variable? Importance of variable. We're having global variables, local variables. What is the meaning of global variables? It should be accessible entirely to the program. That is called global. Local means it should be specific to the specific block. It should be accessible to the specific block. That is called local variable. That is very important. In this example, what is global variable and what is local variable? What is inside the block is called local variable. What is outside the block is called global variable. And total is equal 0 is initialized outside this one. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Global means outside, local means inside. So work on these examples and you'll understand totally. I hope you with this lecture you got idea on functions in Python. So in this module you learned all these arguments, type of arguments. What is function? What is the main things in function syntax, examples, calling function, called function, reference, values, types of arguments, required arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, variable length arguments, and lastly return, global variables, local variables, anonymous functions. Everything you learned with this is more enough to learn basic. This will be applicable to the advanced Python also. I hope this lecture is very important and feel benefit to you, and keep watching this channel continuously, and next lecture will be uploaded, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.